Anthony says, hi, Bruce. Can you demonstrate a scenario to show me how to execute a policy and procedures? I can do better than that. So I've got some downloadable resources that you can use to help you out to pump the primer on. If you like, he basically gives you a template, like a template that you can download and say, okay, this is what I want to do for a policy and procedure. But a scenario, that's what you want. A scenario in which you would need to execute a policy and procedure, demonstrate a scenario. Any organization that's handling any very important information is going to need some sort of policy and procedure. And the reason why is because if you're handling, a good example would be, I don't know, the post office. So they're handling people's private information. So PII information, where they're handling your first name, your last name associated with your address, and sometimes even phone numbers and stuff. So in that case, this organization must protect your information. It's a law. It's a federal law. Like you've got Privacy Act of 1974. You've got, I don't know, FISMA. You've got all kinds of laws out there that are passed that this organization has to apply to protect your information. So how do they do that? A policy is the best way to do that. So that's a scenario in which you would need to have a policy. The procedures back up the policy. The procedures say, okay, any mail carrier or any civil servant who has to interact with the privacy information has to do X, Y, and Z in order to protect your information, the public's information. So that's a scenario in which you would need to use a policy and procedure. And I hope I'm answering that question. I'm understanding what you mean by that.
One thing I'd want to jump on there, Bruce, is that,
yeah,
and this is something that we grappled with recently, is what's the difference between a plan, a policy, a procedure, and just defining what you want, because we kept all of our policies very high level, one page, basically one page,
right,
or maybe a page and a half policy,
mm-hmm.
kept them no more than 2 pages on our policies. And then we would write more descriptive plans. I wouldn't say we took what NIST provides as the examples for the families, but we made sure that it balanced against what NIST describes for all the different plans. And then from there, we've been working steadily over the last couple of years to build all of our desktop instructions, which we leverage our ITSM, which is ServiceNow, to build out all of our desktop instructions in the form of KB articles that have the step-by-step instructions. And so that's how you would execute a policy or procedures within a policy.
And yeah, to piggyback on what Ryan's saying about the policy being broad, and the reason why you do that is because you might have an organization that has several departments, and the HR department has to meet that policy, and then the IT department has to meet that policy. So it has to be broad enough so that it accommodates both of their missions. So that's why you make it broad. And then the procedures are very specific. So that one would be specific to the HR department or specific to the IT department. So that's one scenario that you could use as an example of why you would need a policy and a procedure. And great answer there, Ryan, on the difference between a policy and a procedure.